Stand on any street corner in London today, and you'll hear a dozen languages in as many minutes. Nearly 40% of Londoners were born outside the UK, making this one of the most diverse cities on Earth. But rewind 2,000 years, and you'd find marshland along a tidal river, barely inhabited, strategically useless to anyone except the Romans. What happened in between? Invasion, fire, plague, revolution. A small trading post that became the heart of an empire. A city burned to ash and rebuilt from stone. Through conquest and catastrophe, London kept growing, kept adapting, kept pulling people in from everywhere. For centuries, we've had to imagine what those earlier versions of London actually looked like. Artist sketches, faded engravings, descriptions in old journals. But now, using AI trained on historical imagery, we can take those original drawings and paintings and see them as they might have appeared in real life. The cobblestones, the crowds, the smoke rising from medieval chimneys. You're about to witness almost 2,000 years of history in one video. Sit back and relax as we journey through the incredible history of the capital of the United Kingdom, London. Let's go back to where it all began. The year is 43 AD. 4 Roman legions have just landed on the Kent coast, and they're pushing inland. They need a place to cross the Thames, somewhere they can build a bridge and establish supply lines back to the continent. They find it here, at the river's lowest crossing point before it widens into an estuary. Within a decade, Londinium is bustling. Merchants from Gaul, soldiers from Syria, traders from North Africa. The Romans build their bridge exactly where London Bridge stands today. Around it, a port town springs up almost overnight. But 17 years after its founding, disaster strikes. Queen Boudica of the Iceni tribe has had enough of Roman occupation. Her army marches on Londinium and burns it to the ground. Archaeological digs have found a layer of red ash beneath the modern city, evidence of that destruction. The Romans rebuild, bigger than before. They construct a massive wall around the city, parts of which still stand 2,000 years later. At its peak, Londinium is home to maybe 60,000 people, the largest city in Britannia. Amphitheaters, bathhouses, forums. This isn't some frontier outpost anymore. It's a proper Roman city. Then, by around 410 AD, Rome itself is crumbling. Barbarian tribes are hammering the empire from all sides, and Britain is too far away, too expensive to defend. Emperor Honorius sends word, "You're on your own." The legions pull out. Without Rome, Londinium's entire economy collapses. The trade networks that brought wine from Gaul and olive oil from Spain simply stop. Roman currency becomes worthless. The merchants leave, the officials leave, the skilled craftsmen leave. Within a generation, a city of perhaps 50,000 people dwindles to a few hundred squatters living in the ruins. For the next 2 centuries, the grand buildings slowly fall apart. Roofs cave in, walls crumble, mosaic floors push through weeds. But the Thames keeps flowing, and rivers have a way of attracting new people with new ideas about what a city should be. The Saxons who settle in Britain after the Romans leave don't particularly like cities. They're farmers, village people. They actually avoid the old Roman city, seeing it as haunted, cursed. One Saxon poet calls the ruins the work of giants. They can't imagine how mere humans could have built such massive structures. Instead, around the 670s, they build a new settlement about a mile west of the Roman walls. They call it London Wick, London Trading Town. This is where modern Covent Garden and the Strand are today. If you're watching a performance at the Royal Opera House, you're sitting directly above Saxon London. By the early 700s, goods are flowing in from all over. Amber from the Baltic, millstones and wine jars from the Rhineland, pottery and metalwork from France and Germany. At its peak, London Wick might have 8,000 people living there. Not huge by Roman standards, but thriving. But then the Vikings arrive. Starting in the late 8th century, Norse raiders keep hitting the settlement. These aren't just raids anymore, they're coming up the Thames in force. In 842, they sack Londonwick completely. In 851, they do it again. King Alfred the Great finally has enough. In 886, he retakes London from the Danes and does something clever. He abandons Londonwick and moves everyone back inside the old Roman walled city, which is much easier to defend. He repairs the ancient walls, recuts the defensive ditches. The city is now called London Burh, London Fortress. Londonwick is left empty, gradually earning a new name, Eldwick, the Old Settlement. That name survives today as Oldwich, the curved street in central London. Over the next century and a half, the city changes hands multiple times between Saxon and Danish rulers. In 1316, King Canute, yes, the one from the legend about commanding the tide, makes London his capital. When Edward the Confessor becomes king in 1042, he builds Westminster Abbey just west of the city. That decision will shape London's geography forever. The city for commerce, Westminster for power. Edward the Confessor dies childless in January 1066, and England tears itself apart over who should rule next. Harold Godwinson is crowned king, but across the Channel, William, Duke of Normandy, claims Edward promised him the throne. In September, Harold has to march north to fight off a Norwegian invasion. He wins, but he's barely caught his breath when news arrives. William has landed on the south coast with 7,000 Norman soldiers. Harold rushes his exhausted army south and meets William at Hastings on October 14th. By nightfall, Harold is dead, and William has won England. On Christmas Day, 1666, he's crowned King of England at Westminster Abbey. The Anglo-Saxon era is over. The Normans have arrived, and they're going to rebuild England in their own image, starting with London. William doesn't entirely trust London's population. They supported Harold after all. So he builds not one, but 3 fortresses to keep them in line. The biggest becomes the Tower of London, which starts as a symbol of oppression and will remain a symbol of royal power for the next 1,000 years. The White Tower, its central keep, is a statement in stone. 90 feet high, walls 12 feet thick in places, it dominates the skyline, a constant reminder of who's in charge. Now, medieval London is cramped, chaotic, and increasingly wealthy. By 1100, maybe 15,000 people live here. The city's merchants form guilds that control trades: goldsmiths, fishmongers, drapers, mercers. These guilds become so powerful that the king has to negotiate with them. In 1215, when the barons force King John to sign Magna Carta, London's support is crucial. The city extracts its own concessions: the right to elect its own mayor, freedom from arbitrary taxes. London Bridge, rebuilt in stone between 1176 and 1209, becomes a city unto itself. It takes 33 years to build. Shops and houses line both sides. The bridge has a chapel, a drawbridge, even heads of traitors displayed on spikes as a warning. For over 600 years, it's the only bridge across the Thames in London. Then, in 1348, ships arrive at London's docks carrying rats, and on those rats, fleas, and in those fleas, Yersinia pestis, the